being honest, there's two types of women in this world. There's the one who never complains. She works hard, she's responsible, she's nice, she's polite, she's kind to everyone. Everyone says good things about her. She's the good girl. Then there's the other type of woman. She's been the good girl, she's been nice, she's done everything, she's gone above and beyond, but then she hits a wall. I'll never forget this story I heard at work one day. Essentially, my colleague was having a rant about her boyfriend. He had come home from a night out, crazy drunk, made a mess. I'm talking like vomiting all over the floor, like made a mess in the kitchen. She was saying like, how do I tell him this is a problem? You know, he needs to stop, but I don't want to hurt his ego. And I sat there typing away, like, you know, when you're half listening, half not, like you're eavesdropping low key. Like I was like, this is a problem. Like this, the people pleasing is now a pandemic.
What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP back at it again with another video, and today we are doing something a little different. We are reacting to a woman named Christina Aaliyah. I've seen a few of her videos before, and she's really smart, and I would really like to react to this one because this one looked interesting, and I wanted to react to it. And this is a little different because normally, you know, I'm a male. I normally come from a male's perspective. I always want to talk about male things. And from the male's perspective, you know, I try to keep play in the middle, but I'm a man. I just gotta keep it real. I'm biased, you know what I mean? But I always like to hear the other side. I'm big on perspectives. I love psychology and philosophy, so I love hearing other people's perspectives on different things. So I wanted to kind of get in their business. Shout out to the women in this. This might be more geared to women, but shout out to y'all if y'all up in here. We're gonna rock it out. But before we get into the video, even you, make sure you sign up and subscribe to the Prosper Gang. We keeping it PG. You know what I mean? We keeping it Prosper Gang up here. Everybody gonna prosper. Both genders, everybody. We all up. You know what I mean? Yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video.
If I'm being honest, there's two types of women in this world. There's the one who never complains. She works hard, she's responsible, she's nice, she's polite, she's kind to everyone. Everyone says good things about her. She's the good girl. And this was me for the longest time. Then there's the other type of woman. She's been the good girl, she's been nice, she's done everything, she's gone above and beyond, but then she hits a wall. She reaches her breaking point when she realizes, I can't do this anymore. She wakes up one day and realizes, I've been paying the price for good girl programming. I've been stuck in the matrix of people telling me what to do and what to say and what to wear and how to show up. And for a while I was rewarded. I got some praise from my boss. I got some praise from my family, my friends, my partner, but enough is enough. This woman takes the rebellious act of simply living life for herself. She says no and doesn't feel guilty. She puts herself first and doesn't feel bad. She doesn't suffer in silence to convenience other people. Her aims aren't to please everyone around her. Her aims are to please herself. I
want to talk about this, and even as a man, I can relate. Right, not necessarily the good girl, but you could say the good guy syndrome, right? Because, I ain't say the name of the video is the pandemic is ruining Gen Z, right? I don't know how that could. Anyway, from a good guy perspective, I can definitely understand it, and I feel like right now in this point in life, I'm leaning on the second girl she's talking about, right? But I'm a man, so from a man's perspective. But yeah, a lot of times we live life in the way we were told we were supposed to live, and we think we were supposed to get all these results that come with it. And though we get some of them, like she said, is things that we really wanted that we didn't get because we prioritized the way the world wanted us to live and not prioritize the way we needed to live.
She was saying like, how do I tell him this is a problem? You know, he needs to stop, but I don't want to hurt his ego. And I sat there typing away, like, you know, when you're half listening, half not, like you're eavesdropping low key. Like I was like, this is a problem. Like this, the people pleasing is now a pandemic.
A lot of times we go to the far extreme. I'm not saying that this is what she's about to say about this girl, but that's what tends to happen is that we say no and we think by just rebelling that we standing. But what you're doing is you're just trying to be the polar opposite of who you were. So instead of living life in the way society told you to, now you're just gonna live life completely opposite of that. Not completely, because you still maintain some of you, but you're like the extreme. And what happens is you try to move yourself, you slowly realize how extreme you get, and you just try to find that middle ground to where you're not living for society, you're not living against society, but you're living truly for yourself. God dang, I need to fix this AC. God damn it. But let's go.
Able to pull the plug on good girl programming because she realized people pleasing isn't just draining, it's expensive. It costs you your voice, it costs you your comfort, it costs you your identity, your well-being, your happiness. I know this experience all too well, and as someone who's been both women before, I want to explain to you why good girl programming does more harm than good. It's my job by the end of this video to help you hang up the good girl costume for good. It's my job to help you understand how to say no without feeling guilty, how to put yourself first, how to start living life for you, and how to finally discover your real identity, the real version of you, because the world has enough good girls. What we need more of is you. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the cozy corner of the internet. I'm your host, Christina, and I help people stop shrinking and start living. I'm a doctor, creator, and coach living and working in the UK, and it's my job here on YouTube and on the internet to help people become more of themselves. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible stop thinking about their dream selves and start becoming their dream selves. So if that sounds like you, please join the family. I'll never forget this story I heard at work one day. Essentially, my colleague was having a rant about her boyfriend. He had come home from a night out, crazy drunk, made a mess. I'm talking like vomiting all over the floor, like made a mess in the kitchen. She was telling us about how he like the laundry was everywhere. Like he came home and made a mess, like made an actual mess. And she was asking us like, guys, how do I tell him this is a problem? I must have missed the first half of the conversation because I don't know if this is the first time or it's happened multiple times before, but she was saying like, how do I tell him this is a problem? You know, he needs to stop, but I don't want to hurt his ego. And I sat there typing away, like, you know, when you're half listening, half not, like you're eavesdropping low key. Like I was like, this is a problem. Like the people pleasing is now a pandemic. Before I get into the video, I really wanted to quickly mention the community that I'm working on that a bunch of you guys have been asking me questions about.
Shout out to your community, but I rock with your community. You know, we're gonna skim past that. Shout out to you though, you know. Okay, hopefully I didn't skip too far.
As it is, society rewards good girls. Like
okay, let me see
the link in the description. I'm sure it's no news to any of us that a lot of young women, a lot of young people, I'll just say young people actually, are people pleasers. We live in a society now where it feels like there is
definitely I can attest to that too.
A million rules on how to talk, how to dress, how to show up, how to work, how to do your hobbies, how to everything. There's a rule book for how you should show up, and we follow the rule book because we think we'll get like a reward for it. Like that's why the title is titled as it is. Society rewards good girls. Like the reward for being a good girl is you are liked by people. People say good things about you, pat on the back, compliments from your colleagues, compliments from your boss. The reward for being a good girl is just enough validation that you feel like you're doing a good job, but not enough validation to the point where you feel valued. Like,
well, the thing is, okay, you do want to feel valued, right? Everybody wants to, and that's still a seeking validation, but you should feel valued through you, right? And that's where that I'm sure she probably gonna get into that, but you definitely want to feel valued. Everybody wants to, but the thing is to be more focused on your own self-worth and within yourself, you know what I mean? Not so much seeking that out from the outside world. If you going to rebel against the people pleasing side of you, it shouldn't be to feel to make yourself feel valued, to seek feeling valued from other people. It should be to get the results in life that you actually wanted. Like if I'm a rebel, I'm rebelling to get what I want, not necessarily to and if getting what you want is to feel valued. I mean, it's kind of like a oxymoron or whatever they call that, where it's like you don't want to get minimal validation, like breadcrumb validation, but you also want to get valued. I don't know. We about to get into this.
How many times have maybe you watching this as a people pleaser felt like, oh, but I just feel like no one appreciates me. I do so much. I go above and beyond. I clean up my boyfriend's vomit and all the mess he's made, like, but no one appreciates me. Being this good girl looks so attractive because it seems like, oh, if I just stay quiet, if I take up space, I'll get this, this, and this. My boss, my colleague.
Another thing. Sorry, I'm gonna let it rock. But another thing, a lot of this can be fixed with communication. If you don't feel appreciated or you don't feel valued in whatever way, a lot of times it's not that you aren't, is that it's the way it's being communicated is not something you are either familiar with, comfortable with, or used to, whatever. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, a lot of it can be fixed with communication. And the way you can tell if it can be fixed with communication, if it's not disrespect, then it's just communicate. If the person that you're referring to that's not valuing you or not appreciating you or not showing you any value, if they're not disrespecting you, then it's probably just a miscommunication problem. Now, if they're downright disrespecting you, then now this is a whole different conversation. And I ain't a whole different conversation, but it's a lot more deeper, and it got to go a little bit further. But if it's just like, it's certain things that you look for that shows you that you want to feel appreciated, that they can do to show appreciation or whatever. There's probably just a miscommunication thing that you can talk about it without having to be rebellious. You know what I mean? You don't have to rebel. Just communicate first. If that don't work, then you could take the rebellion arc. You know what I mean? Don't avoid communication. That can probably fix it right then and there. You know what I mean? So, because some people would just jump straight to rebellion. It's like, bro, if you just communicated this, we could have fixed this without you having to do all this villain arc shit that you're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Everyone will think that I'm insert slightly positive adjective here. Like, people will think you're polite, kind. When you strive to be good, you can never be considered amazing. Like, when you strive to be a good girl, a palatable girl, a polite girl, that is what you will get, and that is what I got for so many years. But in my experience, when I was this girl, deep down I was like, okay, sure, I'm polite, sure, I'm agreeable, but deep down
Another thing, damn, I'm sorry, I'm at this. If you're going to be polite, good, whatever, do it with intention. As a people pleaser myself, a lot of times we be nice and sweet and good to people, but we're not doing it with intention. Not saying a ulterior motive. I'm saying with intention, right? So if you want results in life, you can't just willy-nilly be nice to people and think other people gonna give you the results you want, or just being nice to other people and they'll give you the results you want. No, you have to be nice with intention. So that if that means being nice and sweet to your boss or whatever, but after doing that for so long, you go up to them and say, okay, I need a raise because my performance been like this, the way I've been performing, the way I've been acting, the way I've been treating people. I think with these accolades, I deserve a raise. That's being nice and being a people pleaser with intention, not just doing it because you think that's the right thing to do and you think other people are going to reward you for that. No, they can. I'm not saying they won't. You can't get rewarded, but you want to seek your reward, not wait for it to come. And that was a problem for me, and still sometimes is that I'll wait for the reward to come and I don't seek it. Like, okay, you want this? All right, you can have it. Seek it though. Like, don't just be nice. Be nice and work towards something. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to get you to avoid taking the villain arc, because it's taking the villain arc is an avoidant style of communication. And the problem with that is what you're gonna do is every time that situation, every time you feel like you're not being appreciated, or every time you feel like you are taken advantage of, or every time you feel like you are, like I say, not getting the results you want, what you would tend to do if you do this villain arc is you would continue to take that villain arc instead of attacking it with intention and communication. A lot of times it can get fixed with that. But what some people do is instead of attacking it with communication and intention, they just go straight to the avoidant style and they just take the villain arc or self-worth arc. Like self-worth is great when is when it's meet with resistance, right? So taking the self-worth arc or direction is best done when you tried to move with intention and was met with resistance. At that point, take self-worth, because I tried, you did not want to let me in, you did not want to appreciate me, you chose not to do it. After even me communicating with you, now I'm gonna take the other arc. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm really trying to do, is get you to take the communication route first. Take the intentional route first before you decide to say, okay, now I'm gonna be rebellious and I'm gonna take the villain arc, or the what's the other thing, they not a villain but they also not a hero, vigilante arc. You know what I mean? So just hear me out. I'm spitting for real.
I wanted to be amazing. I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted to be valued. I didn't just want to be liked. I personally think to get to a place where you truly put yourself first, you don't feel guilty about doing what you want to do or saying no. You really can't do that overnight. I don't even think you can do that in a week. It's a push to do it in a month. Like, you have to follow your people-pleasing script and simultaneously start to sprinkle in moments where you put yourself first. Like, you're following this core recipe, this big recipe for like maybe a batch of 32 different cupcakes. But then on the side, you're making like a small test banana loaf. Like, you're doing your main thing because that's who you are. Like, you're going to struggle to get rid of it and just stop it completely, because it's literally like, it's almost in your DNA. And you're slowly going to have to learn to adopt a new DNA. You're going to have to practice something on the side. I remember, it sounds so cringe, but the way I did this back in the day was I literally set myself the goal of like at least once a day to say no to someone. Like it was like a task. It was like, oh, wake up, meditate, exercise, do.
That is true. She hitting on that. Like, you gotta look at it like same thing with men when it comes to approaching women that you're attracted to. Like, take them no's, because it's gonna make you stronger. It's the same thing in the other way when you want to tell somebody no. Tell them no. It will make you, it's gonna feel bad until it starts feeling natural. And then in some cases, as crazy as it is, it actually gonna feel good.
My homework, say no to someone. Like, it was literally homework for me. That way, if I didn't do it, it would almost like it would like almost annoy me a little bit that I didn't tick that thing off. So I would like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to say no to 2 people. Like, it almost became a bit of a game. And slowly over time, I was teaching myself to not
be realistic though. Like I say, don't be rebellious for the fun of being rebellious. Like, when you say no to somebody, you gotta actually really want to say no. Like, don't say no when you normally would say yes just because you're trying to be rebellious. Like, if you really do want to do that, remember, it got to be with intention. So if something is good for you that you want to do, say yes by all means. Don't say no because you on this new arc. Like, no. Like, I mean, obviously, I think y'all would know that, but I'm just saying.
Feel panicked and threatened if I say no to someone, because the core of this, and the core of maybe why you struggle to say no to people, why you feel a default to people please, is because of a dysregulated nervous system. I speak a lot more about this in this video, which I'll link up here. But essentially, your life looks currently like the sum of all your behaviors, but all of your behaviors are controlled by your nervous system. In particular, all of your behaviors are what your nervous system feels safe for you to do. If you go up, see both of your parents, comfortably put themselves first, say no to people, And you feel safe also saying no to other people because you've seen your parents do it. You feel safe saying no to a party invite or saying no to someone asking you out, and you just feel pressured. Like you feel safe saying no. Like you can just say no because you've seen it's safe to do so. You're going to be someone who doesn't actually grow up as a people pleaser. Say, on the other hand, you grow up and you learn over time that when you do say no, you're actually punished for it. You're scolded for it. You're told off for it. People penalize you, make you feel guilty. You're slowly going to learn, oh, saying no is actually quite painful. There's emotional pain that comes along with saying no. Your nervous system is not going to feel safe doing it. So you're going to always say yes. It's why someone asks you a question and you default to saying yes before you even heard the question. Like, this is a nervous system thing. But again, more on that in this video. And I've spoken about it before, but I'm going to mention it again. This all comes down to a value gap. Oftentimes we feel an urge or an obligation to pay more attention to the things that are more valuable than us. Like, I know for a fact, if you're like a proper people pleaser, maybe at work you've had like a sudden meeting that's been put in your calendar for like your boss's boss, and you suddenly feel the urge to like prepare, plan, like be so on time for the meeting. Like maybe you want to do prep work for the meeting. Like you just want to go above and beyond. And yes, I know this is a really admirable trait, but at times when you do this for everything that's more valuable than you can exhaust yourself in life. This is a really good representation of the value gap. You feel like on this scale, you're slightly lower down. Maybe you see yourself as a value 5 out of 10, but you see your boss's boss as like, oh my God, this is like a 9 or 10 out of 10. So there's pressure, there's urgency, there's like maybe even comparison. You don't feel good enough compared to them. Maybe on like a smaller scale, you want to make more friends. You feel like you don't have that many people in your social circle, so you want to put yourself out there. Maybe you go to an event, a book club, little social gathering thing, and you're scared to talk to new people because you see yourself, again, lower down on the value gap scale. You see yourself as a 5 out of 10. Everyone else seems so...
And that's definitely like a self-esteem and, like she said, nervous system thing, and how you was raised and how you, the perspective that you viewed yourself through life. Because I always say that I got this saying that I said that if you fail to recognize the good or bad habits, if you fail to recognize the good or bad habits in your life, and you will be doomed to repeat them until you realize those habits and fix them, right? So if you don't if you have this people pleasing problem or this low value problem where you feel like a lot of things are above you, if you train, what happens is you train yourself your whole life to feel like that. And just like playing basketball, you train basketball every day, you're going to be a pro basketball player, right? If you train to see yourself beneath people, you will be a pro low self-esteem person. So you have to start attacking those things as soon as you realize them. And that's why I like videos like this, because what happens is you might have went this whole day until you saw this video, and now a light bulb went off your head, and it's like, damn, that's me. Now you're aware of it. Now you need to start unwiring that and reprogramming yourself out of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. Like she said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a month. But it's definitely something you have to do. You know what I mean? Or it's just not going to work out in your favor. You know what I mean? But yeah, nah, she's smart, bro. I like her, bro.
Together, so nice, so like good looking, like they're just so intimidating, so you can't go up to them. They're all a 9 out of 10, say. I feel like if you're stuck in this loop of living a life smaller than what you want to live, like you feel like you're literally shrinking, then the value gap is a really common thing that I talk about in my videos, because understanding this really helped me to like let go of comparison, let go of people pleasing. I've made a whole entire workbook breaking down the steps from identifying...
Shit, I might have to get that damn workbook, no cap.
The value gap, overcoming the value gap, and closing the value gap to a point where you see someone that's better than you, quote unquote, because what does that even mean? And you now no longer feel pressure to perform for them. I had value gaps for everything, every single person on Hinge, like every single person at work. Everyone would stress me out because I thought everyone was more valuable than I was. If that resonates, honestly, click the link in the description box below, the top line of the description, to download your value gap workbook. It only takes, I'd say, around 30 minutes to complete, but honestly, it's like truly a game changer. For those of you who've already
Hey, y'all get that, because I know I ain't the only one that need it. Y'all know y'all need that shit too, for sure. Go get it. And I ain't mean shit, but y'all know y'all need that too, for real.
done the workbook, let me know what you think in the comments, by the way.
Sorry, this is just my lingo. You know what I mean? I'm a Houston nigga. It is what it is.
Because I know it's been out for a while now. I really want to know. I often see advice for be more selfish when it comes to people pleasing. And do I think that's good advice? I actually do think that's good advice.
Intentional selfishness. Intentional selfishness. Do not be selfish for the act of being selfish. You will quickly become a jackass. Be intentional. All this is intentional. The reason why intention is such a big thing, because all these little realms and arcs you playing with are blurry lines. Most people aren't deep like her or like me, right? Most people aren't. Most people just surface level with shit. And not because they can't be deep, they just choose not to be. It's just a lot easier to just go by life on a day-to-day thing, right? Anyway, most people aren't. So when you play in these arcs, you can create perspectives about you that you don't want, or you can create ideals about you that you don't want. And granted, I'm not trying to tell you to people please other people's ideals, but if you want certain results in life, right, you need people for that, right? You do. Like, if you want to get a promotion, if you want to get a business opportunity, you need people for that. So you want to be intentional by when you say no, you saying no correctly. When you being selfish, you're being selfish correctly. Because if you do it in the wrong setting, you will miss out on a blessing, because you're being too extreme. This is why I was saying at the beginning, people go to the far extreme with things, because it's like, for instance, if let's use Steph Curry, for example. He been practicing, and not him exactly, but let's just use the extreme version of Steph Curry, for example. Steph Curry practicing basketball every single day. Now when it's time for Steph Curry to be a regular person for his family, he can't, because his mind been only on basketball. So when somebody tells you, hey, bro, you need to step away and be rebellious to basketball and focus on your family, he goes all in on his family, to the point to where his family is sick of him because he's doing too much. This is what I mean when I say you go to the far extreme. And I know that was a crazy example, but it was something off the dome. Just rock with me, right? So what I mean is, what happens is, when you're a people pleaser and you try to rebel against it, you go on to the far extreme. Now it's like you're telling people no when you probably should have said yes. You're being selfish when you probably should have been considerate, because you don't know how to be on that side correctly. That's why I say do it with intention. That means you're going to have to be a people pleaser a little bit longer than you wanted to, but you will slowly start saying no to the things you need to, because you're learning when to say no. That's how you safely cross over without just jumping over to the other side. Like she said, practice saying no, but practice saying no intentionally when it makes sense, not just an urge. And yeah, you can go on the extreme side and be safe if you do it, if you just get lucky. But some people, you're going to lose a lot. You can lose relationships. You can lose business opportunities. You can lose, like, people go off on a far end. It's like, bro, like, he was good. Why he snapped like that? Because he went to the extreme. You want to start small. Start saying no when it makes sense, not just because it feels good or you just need to practice it. Be smart about it, because these are real people you playing with. You're not just playing in your room. Like, you dealing with real people. You can easily become a jackass and lose all your friends. Trust me, I'm like damn near in the process of that right now. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be a jackass, but you need to be intentional. It's a complicated game to play, and it's a lot of mental stress, because you're learning, but it's important, man. Like this, trust me, as a people pleaser myself, that shit sucks. You know what I mean? And you reprogramming yourself, but you just want to be intentional about it. So when she say be selfish, it's not bad advice if you're being intentional. Remember, intention is the key thing in this. You want to do it safely without burning bridges and ruining relationships that you really should be keeping because you don't know the field like that because you're not used to not being a people pleaser. Get what I'm saying? Because these aren't grounds you're used to. But yeah, I like her advice. She's smart as hell, for real. I'm dead ass.
I think it's advice that's hard to follow though for someone whose DNA is to be selfless. I think being more selfish is actually quite tough, or at least I found it tough when I heard that advice. If you're a fellow good girl stuck in the matrix of good girl programming, you probably struggle with being more selfish advice because you don't see yourself as worthy. I talk about this in a lot of detail in my Why We Crave Male Validation video. Essentially, as humans, we naturally just protect and preserve what we feel is valuable. So say one day you're wearing a pair of shoes, they're brand new shoes, they've been on your wish list for ages, like you love these shoes, and you finally get to wear them. You wear them out and suddenly you realize, the plans that you have, you're going to have to walk through a bunch of mud. You're going to have to walk through like the rain. You're going to have to like damage your brand new shoes that you just love. You'd start to think about some plans like, okay, is there any way I can go back and change? Is there any way I can swap shoes? Can I put the shoes in my bag? Can I get a pair of like cheap flip-flops? Like you'd start to plan how you can protect your shoes because you see them as valuable. Imagine in a different example, you're still going on this very muddy, dirty terrain to get to where you're going, but you're actually wearing shoes that you just don't care about. Like they're old, they've got like scuffs on them already, like you don't really care. You're now no longer planning and like extrapolating how you're going to protect these shoes because they don't need protecting as much. They're slightly less valuable. This is almost how sometimes we treat ourselves. When we don't see ourselves as valuable, we're not going to work hard to stand up for ourselves, or we're not going to work hard to protect our work-life balance. We're not going to work as hard to protect our well-being and make ourselves less overwhelmed. Like we genuinely don't see ourselves as valuable, and this kind of makes
And sometimes, and this is because this is my case, right? Sometimes you see yourself as stronger. It sounds crazy, but hear me out. Sometimes as a people pleaser, and this is something I think I deal with, at least in my head. Sometimes when I tell people yes, when I really meant no, is because I feel like I can handle the beating of doing something that I don't want to do better than they can handle the beating of not getting what they want. I know it sounds crazy, but like some people, I feel like I'm very mentally strong. I feel like I'm really one of those people that's like mentally tough. Right? Trust me, I got my breaking points, but I can endure a lot. And I feel like a lot of people around me, like by watching them and observing them, I feel like, and I'm probably wrong, right? I'm probably 100% wrong, but just based on my my observing them is how I've observed to notice that I don't think they can handle rejection or not getting what they want as well as I could. Like somebody could tell me no, and it'll upset me, but I'll be all right. Like fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out for myself anyway. I don't feel sometimes the people I say yes to, I don't feel they can handle that the same. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna just say yeah because if I tell them no, they not gonna be able to deal. And it probably still plays with this in this valuable gauge that she got going on. It probably falls into this somewhere, but that's something I think about too. Like I think I can handle the mental beating way better than they can, so I endure it so they don't have to, which is crazy, but that's just how it is sometimes.
Makes sense because like I was saying with the value gap, like visually, like if you see yourself as lower down and you don't see yourself as valuable, you think that you need to work so hard to be worth anything. You think that you need to win things or achieve things or like look better to go further up the scale. You're not going to feel like you need to say no to plans. You're not going to feel like you're worth standing up for, defending. Like people can just say what they want to say to you. And I really don't mean this in any negative way at all. Like I'm speaking from experience. Like I have been there stood in a conversation of 3 people where like one person like literally just cracks a joke at how I look or like makes fun of my face, and I'm just kind of like there like not saying anything because I physically don't have the skills or the words to defend myself. Like I was a huge people pleaser back in the day. So I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad. I'm just saying like if people pleasing is a huge struggle, it's partly because you really just don't see yourself as like valuable yet. Like you don't see yourself as worth protecting. You'd protect a nice pair of shoes. You'd protect your nice bag. You'd protect maybe even a friend. Like you'd protect people you see as way further up this scale. You protect things that you think are valuable. And part of letting go of people pleasing is just raising the value that you see in yourself. This in particular is something that I'm so excited to deep dive in my community, the Cozy Corner, over on the school website. By the time you're watching this, the waitlist will be open. So be sure to join the waitlist so that you can join in the future. Something I've learned over the years is that pleasing the world is impossible, but pleasing yourself is easy. I was going to go into a lot of detail and do some statistics and stats on like how society benefits from women who are good girls, or how patriarchy benefits from women that are just polite and palatable. But then when I was looking at the numbers, it just got a bit depressing, and I thought we all understand and we all know society benefits a lot when women are just silent, keep their mouth shut, stay in their place, shrink yourself, make yourself smaller. I don't think it's rocket science to understand and see that, especially when you get into the numbers of like SA and you get into the numbers of crimes and other things that women just feel like they can't speak up about because they're too busy worrying about like what people will think and if they're like hurting their boyfriend's ego. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, society benefits from us staying silent and staying small. The quote that I really like, and sometimes I always like bring myself back to, is a quote from this book called Untamed. It's a good book for people pleasers. The author, Glennon, says in the book, being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. Breaking free from people pleasing sounds and feels like the most exhausting journey. And it is a tough journey. It is tough. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but truly because you're rewriting the pathways in your brain that tell you what's safe and what's not safe. Like it goes back to the nervous system thing. Like you're genuinely rewriting your nervous system. The only reason you people please is because you feel like that's what's safe. The moment you step out of that, you're now in like the danger zone in your mind. Like you're doing all the things that you feel are dangerous. That's why
I say do it with intention, because you stepping out of your comfort zone and it can get real spooky out there. You can fuck up a whole lot of shit that you don't want to fuck up. So be intentional to your best ability, because you're probably still gonna mess something up. I've done it. I'm still doing it. You're still gonna mess something up. But at least the more intentional you are, the less mess you make while you're trying to figure out this new programming you creating for yourself.
So scary. It's why you feel lost the moment that you stop following rules, because your whole identity is following rules. It's the whole reason why you feel uncomfortable and you feel guilty when someone does something for you, because your whole identity is doing things for other people. The last thing I wanted to touch on, which is something I've discovered recently called the golden algorithm. This is a concept come up with by a guy called Joe Hudson. He's an amazing,
I'm sure this is gonna be something dope, but I got to go. So y'all check out the rest of her video. This is her page right here, Christina Aaliyah. I hope I get that right. But the pandemic ruining Gen Z. So y'all go check that out. I'm sure this is about to be a good thing she about to speak on. So y'all go check that out over there. I don't want to take all her video, but she is really smart. She broke that down real good. I need to go hit that link in the description for sure. But yeah, man, be safe out there. People pleasing is definitely a thing that can be very expensive, like she said, and can ruin your life if you don't take control of it and learn how to maintain it and dish it out in a healthy way. But you gotta practice it. But practice it, like I said, with intention. But with that being said, hit the like, subscribe button, join the Prosper Gang, because there's a lot of prosperity going on around here. We're keeping it PG because the Prosper Gang is outside. But with that being said, remember, nothing is impossible to they who try. Shout out to Christina Aaliyah. Smart young lady. Y'all go subscribe to her. And yeah, till next time I'm out. Dose.